Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This video we're going to talk about Stormgate. I know usually this channel is centered and will be centered around Age of Empires 4, but since I've got some relevant news to share about Stormgate, I thought it would be interesting to make a video about it. So as some of you may know, Stormgate is now in alpha. It's been for already a couple months, right? No, even slightly more. So during the past August, we played the first 1v1 tournament ever in Stormgate, right? And I managed to finish third there. So I thought it would be interesting to share a bit my thoughts about the current state of the game, how do I think it will do competitively, how the games feel, and so on and so forth, right? As you may know, I've been a pro gamer in not only in Age of Empires 4, but also in other RTS games, StarCraft 2, Warcraft 3, and also even in Heroes of the Storm, right? The MOBA game. So yeah, So in general, I'm interested in a lot of RTS games, so I'm also playing some Stormgate. So I thought it would be interesting to comment a bit this video we have here about the tournament. So as you may see in the image, well, this is a bit the participants in the tournament. You will probably know a lot of the names here. We had pros from Heroes of the Storm, we had pros from StarCraft 2, we had pros from Age of Empires 4, we had pros from Warcraft 3, a bit of everything. Uh, So yeah, so we were the ones who made to renovate. So as you may see, I mean it's mostly StarCraft players, right? Parting Mana. Black Widow also played Age of Empires 4. Probably a few of you recognize the nickname from the early days. Fan is Heroes of the Storm, but he was also quite good in StarCraft 2. Kiwian competed at the early days of StarCraft 2, and he also played Age of Empires 4 for almost, I would say, even more than a year, right? And the same for Mix, right? I think he's mostly StarCraft 2, but he also played Age of Empires 4 for a while. So this was the run of eight. Adico from before. Yeah, so this is my second game against Parting. I won the first one, and this is the second one. There are a few things here that I guess it's worth explaining how they work before continuing. So this blue cloud makes the units inside it invulnerable against range damage, right? So which were the strategies here? I went for a third quick base, whereas Parting was going for a two base timing with a quick vessel. Oh, well, vessel. This unit you see here is the one who gives this cloud, right? So the meta here is I have defender's advantage. I have more units because I haven't touched, and I can use my bobs to try and win engage, right? Whereas he has a lot of micro potential with the bubbles and the hit and run. So let's see how this goes. So as you may have seen in that engage, even though I had way more units, I lost engage, right? And eventually I lost game three as well. So that was then I played a third, fourth place matchup against Vortex. But yeah, in terms of a strategy, I feel like Stormgate really allows you to take multiple paths, right? For instance, just to put an example, as you may know, in Stormgate you have creeps in the map, right? Units you can kill and they give you resources and some temporary buffs. So in this build of the alpha, I would say the two strongest build orders were fast expand without any other building and going as fast as possible for a Rax in order to get map control, right? So two completely different styles and both were viable, right? In the second style, you even cut worker production just so you got the production buildings even faster to claim map control, right? Whereas you could also go for fast expand and surrender the map earlier on in order to get a better economy. And both, it's really close. Like to this day, I'm not sure which of the two styles was the strongest, which goes to show how many decisions you have to, or how many viable paths you have in the game, right? Like it's the only RTS game I've played where you can actually you have to make a decision on whether to produce workers or not, Because since there are also valuable objectives in the map, it may be better in some instances to just cut a worker production in order to get slightly more units in time to fight in the map, right? Then of course the game only has two resources, so in terms of economic balance, it's not like in Age of Empires 4 where you where we have four, right? For instance, but yeah, there's this macro decision on whether you make workers or not that I found really new, right? Like I'm out of the RTS games I played, you pretty much always make workers until you hit your worker cap and then you stop, right? Or if you're going for a timing, you create until X amounts of workers and that's it, right? Yeah. Also notice these were probably the two closest series in the tournament. Like this is 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and even the previous rounds were also very. There were a lot of 2-0s, 2-0s. Now I would also say Scarlet. She's probably one of the best Stormgate players as well, but she couldn't or did I don't know. She didn't participate in this one. But in the previous alpha, when she was playing, she was the best, I would say. Yeah. So as you notice the bubbles, and then back then the meta was Exo, Vulcan, and I can't remember the name of this unit now, but the one that puts the cloud, right? So it's really a matter of positioning. As you may have seen, these units can dash forward. So it's a matter of getting the better position in the bubbles in order to actually damage your opponent, right? Let's rewind a bit. Did you see those dashes? I also want to add that the meta has, I mean, in every alpha build, there's multiple changes, right? As you may, like, in all sorts of regards that you can imagine, not just balance. And now we are also playing with Infernal, so how the game plays, like in terms of strategy, has changed quite a bit. But back then, this was the thing, right? With a lots of fight with the bubbles and so on. Fights sometimes went for a while because you can't really damage units in the opponent bubble, so you have to move into melee range. But that is until you can dash with Vulcans, it was not easy to do. Mm. As you may have seen, those bobs have a buff around them. This is something you can use in the command in the command, and they get I think it's plus 100% damage and armor, right? So they become quite hard to kill. It's a way of making raids or worker kills way harder, right? So that if you, let's say, you suddenly get dropped and you maybe don't immediately react, even if as long as you activate that ability, your bobs won't die as easily. It's not like in StarCraft, for instance, where if you don't react in time and the Widow Mine shoots, you may lose your entire economy. That's not really the case here, at least as the vanguards. Yeah, yeah. This was really interesting. I expected Parting to win the whole thing. Kiwian played really well. Also, he had a very cool strategy involving towers and so on. But yeah, he played very solid. I feel like Vortex was the one who was the closest to knocking him out. But yeah, overall, quite a fun tournament. Did you see that? See, Infernals is the new, the one we've been also testing during the past month already. Not exactly a month. So you may have seen, um, every time a unit dies, they summon a fiend, right? So these units leave a debuff, and if you lose a unit that is affected by it, it spawns a fiend. Now against brutes, it may not seem as impactful, but when you're fighting against armies that have tons of units, this is actually quite powerful. So yeah, I just wanted to make a quick recap about mostly my performance in the tournament and my thoughts on the multiplayer and the future in competitive Stormgate. I think right now it's really fun to play. The game is of course still in alpha, right? So there are lots of things to change, but I feel like the foundation is definitely there, right? So it's just a matter of, I mean, the natural development of a game, right? I'm quite hype about it. Of course, I am going to keep focusing on Age of Empires 4, at least for the upcoming year for sure. And then it's just a matter of whether I try to play at both competing at both at the same time, or we will see, right? But so far it's been fun. Also, sometimes when I want to take a break out of competitive Age of Empires 4, I just go play some Stormgate. So yeah, I'm sure today you will have more videos about Stormgate from content creators and First Giant themselves. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this recap and see you next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.